welcome to the Trademark Like a Boss show. I'm Radiance Harris, also known as the Trademark Goddess. I'm the founder and managing attorney of Radiance IP Law. And today we're going to be talking about savvy tax planning. So if you're tuning in live right now, say hello, let us know you're here, let us know where you're from. If you're watching a replay, be sure to drop the hashtag replay. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Atiya.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me.
Well, I'm excited to have you here today. We're going to be talking about taxes and trademarks. Very exciting topic today. If you could possibly introduce yourself, let our viewers know who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
All right, so my name is Atiya Brown. I am the owner of the Savvy Accounting Firm. We are a full service CPA practice where we help you with your taxes. We cover all things taxes. We like to say that we're savvy at solving tax issues. And so we really help businesses, small business owners with any tax issues that they have. We also, because we're full service, we do the bookkeeping and all the accounting and all that stuff. But our passion is truly taxes, and we have a goal to help you save $1 billion in tax savings. So that's what we are here for.
I love that. $1 billion. Okay. So then tell me, so what are like the top 3 things that business owners can start doing right now to prepare for 2022 taxes? Because we are almost at the end of the year, which is crazy.
It is crazy. It went by so fast.
Yes.
So like the 3 things that I tell people it's really 4 things that I tell people to get ready for tax season is they need to get organized. They need to take this time and make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. If they have folders, all of that stuff needs to get organized so that it can be taken to their tax preparer. We also need to make sure that you need to know your numbers, because when it comes to taxes, you need to be able to say, okay, well, I made this amount, I spent this amount, so this is what my picture should fairly look like. Even if you're not the person that's preparing your financials, you should be able to look at your financials when you get them and say, yeah, this makes sense or this doesn't make sense, because your tax bill is going to be directly correlated to what your financials say. So you need to know your numbers as well as get organized and make sure that everything is part of your numbers that belong there. And the third thing I want people to do to get ready for tax season is to make sure you have cash available. We call it the magical rule of 30, where we tell our clients to make sure that you have funds available for your tax bill. So a good practice is saving 30% of all of your revenues that come in and making sure that that goes towards your tax bill. And so that's typically like 3 things that we tell people when it comes to tax season and how to get ready for it is those 3 things. And our number 4, because 4 is my favorite number, is work with a trusted tax professional.
Absolutely.
So make sure you're working with someone that you trust, that they speak to you in a way that you understand, so that when things are being told to you, you understand it. Like, I love what I do. I love taxes, but it's not rocket science. It's not brain surgery. So I should be able to explain it to you in a way that you understand, because you're on the hook for this. Like, you need to be able to understand what's going on. So those are my 4 tips when it comes to getting ready for tax season.
I love that. And especially the tip about, that's the first time I've heard about the 30%. I've heard of saving 20%, but like, I guess it's better to be over prepared than under prepared when it comes down to taxes. Do you recommend that people like file quarterly taxes throughout the year?
Yes. So estimated taxes are very important, especially when small business owners, because a lot of times small business owners are coming from the W-2 world where your employer was responsible for that. So I like to do parallels. So when you are an employee, your employer is submitting your tax payments on a quarterly basis. So the government works on an earn and pay system. You earn income, you pay taxes.
Right.
Everybody thinks that because you file taxes once a year, that's when you pay it, but that's not really true. When you're an employee, it's being sent through your withholdings every quarter. And now that you're a small business owner, you kind of need to mimic that. So every quarter, the government expects that you pay your estimated tax payments. Obviously, if you make over a certain threshold, but that's basically because you've made money for this quarter, you should be paying taxes on that. And so that's how that works. So small business owners need to get into the habit of submitting those estimated payments, because that's going to essentially reduce what you pay at the end of the year because you've been paying it throughout the year.
Right. So what are your thoughts on like how to identify a good accountant? So what I mean by that, because I've had experiences where I've had, let's say, challenging experiences with accountants in the past. And how would one go about making sure that it's the right accountant for them, but also that they're actually doing what you're hiring them to do? So, like, actually paying their taxes. So, like, a couple years back, I hired an accountant, and it's very much a fiduciary relationship, right? And I thought she had handled my taxes and all these, and then bam, I get a notice saying something was not filed in 2019 when I thought it was. So, like, how do you go about making sure that you are choosing an accountant that is actually doing what they say they're doing and helping you, in fact, file and save on your taxes?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are a few things you could do. Like, I know, I'm sure for you, you have like boards that you guys can check and verify that people are lawyers when they say they are. The
Correct.
same
Yeah.
thing for CPAs. So you can go to a website called cpaverify.org, and that's
Hmm.
going to give you if this person is actually a CPA in the state that they say, if they've had any issues against their license, or
Yeah.
anything like that. So you can do that to verify if they're indeed a CPA. You can also ask questions, interview them. The same way that you are choosing them, they should be choosing you. So make sure if you're in a specific industry, you want to know if they are, well versed in that industry. So don't be afraid to ask, oh, well, do you do this for this? If you're in e-commerce and you have a store, but you also have a storefront, like, you might want to make sure that your accountant understands the e-commerce side as well as the storefront side, because physical inventory is going to be different.
Mm,
So asking questions, don't be afraid to ask questions. No question is too stupid. And they should be able to explain your scenario to you in a way that you understand. So nothing should be above board, nothing should be above your head. It should be explained. And as far as knowing what needs to be filed, you should be aware that every tax return that's filed needs to have both signatures on it. So that's one red flag. If they're not signing off, that's going to be somebody that we call a ghost preparer. So you need
mm,
to make sure that they sign the return and you sign it. So nothing can be filed if you're not signing. So
yeah.
one of the red flags, in your situation, I don't know if you signed, but that would have been a red flag. I haven't signed anything and the deadline's coming. Is the tax return done? That might be something that could trigger of, okay, we're not done the return yet, and this is what was missing, and that's why. So things like that could avoid, but knowing that both people have to sign off, so it's something that both people are on the hook for,
Yeah.
and just understanding what tax returns have to be filed. I think that is going to be helpful.
Absolutely. I always tell people, like, there's two things you don't mess around with. You don't mess around with the legal. You don't mess around with Uncle Sam.
Yep.
Like, it's not a game out here. Like, it'll destroy your business. Either of those two things. So definitely. So what would you say are, like, the most common tax mistakes that small business owners tend to make?
I think the most one is not being on top of their financials.
Mm,
So they tend to just be running the business the way they run the business, but they are not preparing their monthly financials. So they don't know what they make. I take that back. Most business owners know what they make. They will
yeah.
tell you in a quick minute that they hit six figures, but
Right. Right.
but they don't know what they spent to make that. They don't know what their
Mm,
marketing budget looks like. They don't know what their payroll. They are just making money, spending money. They have no concept of the control of their finances. That's the biggest mistake I see business owners are making. The second one is not thinking that it's important. Like, they don't think that the financials are important because the business is running and that's all that they care about.
right.
But like you said, Uncle Sam does not play around.
No.
And there are cases you can review where people from the mob, they went to prison, and it was for tax evasion. It wasn't for any it was a
That's
crime.
funny.
So, like, Uncle Sam does not play around about the tax revenues.
Oh man, I love that. So let's switch gears. So the Savvy Accountant is a registered trademark for you. You've got tons of other trademarks that you protected as well, which I absolutely love. So tell me, at what point in your business journey did you just or make the decision or to start the trademark process, and what made you start it at that time?
So I actually started it very early because I felt like the Savvy Accountant would have been a name that, somebody might try to take. And
Mhm.
so I actually do have several registered trademarks, and the Savvy Accountant was one of the first ones that I did, but it was one of the more recent ones because we've actually had to fight for the Savvy Accountant. So that was a whole, it was a whole ordeal. And so I'm glad that I took the steps to actually take the legal route and do that and get it trademarked. But I actually got some good news today that I got another trademark registered for one of our framework programs we have, the Dream Method. We got that registered today, so that's exciting.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank
See,
you.
I love that. And I think it's an important lesson, especially for small business owners. They think, okay, I have one trademark, I'm good now. But in your case, you are continuing to protect your trademark. You're like not playing around. And I think that's super important. And so for you, like, why have you decided to protect all of your trademarks and what has it done for your business?
Yeah, so I wanted to protect them because I am building a legacy and my kids might not want my business, but it's going to be worth something. And so I know that the trademark is going to help me show that value.
Yeah,
And if it does come time to sell it, then that's something that can be sold
yeah,
and that can generate like wealth for my family. So that's one of the reasons. And also because I think that the frameworks that I come up with and everything kind of flows well. And so I want to make sure that it's all protected so that there's no confusion. Um,
absolutely.
and so that's why I do that. But I'm
I love
excited.
it. Like it's my legacy. When I heard it's my legacy, it's my secret sauce. So like all the other people in the financial accounting space, like, no, you can't use the savvy accountant. You can't use all these other trademarks I have.
Yep.
So I love it. And it's super important. As you said, it's an asset that you can pass on, you can leverage, you can license, you can sell, all of those things and just continue to monetize. So a lot of people do that. They're like, okay, I have the trademark, now what? And it's like, okay, you have the trademark, so now you need to protect it and enforce it. Now you need to figure out how to monetize it and, in various ways. So I love that you have multiple trademarks under your belt.
Yep.
Congratulations to
Thank
you.
you.
So in your experience, as a business owner, as an accountant, what would be your number one piece of business advice to someone?
My number one advice is don't be afraid to work with someone that's not in your zone of genius. Like you said, legal and tax, that's not something that most people are well versed in. I mean, legal, you can't practice law without
Right.
having it.
Right.
So don't be afraid that you have to reach out and work with someone, one of us in our profession, to get your business to the next level. You're really good at what you do in your business, but this is the side that your business needs, but it might not be you that has to be the one doing it. So
Right.
the number one thing I think is that not thinking that you can do everything, and knowing that your limits they're going to come up and you just need to hire someone that's going to be able to work with you and help you fulfill those places that you're not the best at. Because a lot of times people omit the financial stuff because they're just not good at numbers. Numbers make them nervous, numbers stress them out. So they
Girl,
ignore it.
yes.
But instead of ignoring it, work with someone who's going to fill that gap, and then you can do what you're great at and they can do what they're great at. And then you guys, that's a partnership that you guys are forming.
Yeah, definitely. Stay in your zone of genius. That's the truth. Because for me, like I'm all about text and reading and analyzing. When it comes to numbers and finances, it's like a
Ooh,
foreign language. So
yeah.
you're absolutely right about that. And then, yeah, it would be helpful for me to really understand it in a deep way, but I don't really have the time for that.
Yeah.
And there are professionals who are experts at this and versed in that. So I'd rather focus on, being a CEO for my business and bring in, the revenue. So absolutely agree with that. So before we wrap up, is there anything that you're currently working on that you would like to share with our audience?
Yeah, so because the timing of this is right after Black Friday, my Black Friday offer is still standing. So it's the all access membership. So you guys can get that for the low price of $97 compared to $247.
Wow.
And with that monthly membership, you're going to be part of the community where you get access to me every month. You get to ask your specific questions. You get answers to your specific questions, and we give you a tax training. And so we have some work sessions set up. So it's a really great deal. And if you sign up with the Black Friday deal, because it's almost year end, you're going to get a year end tax assessment. So a lot of people use that. That's like a $997 value. And we are going to show you what your taxes are going to look like at the end of the year so that you can still get some planning in the last 30 days.
Wow, y'all heard that. $97 for her all access membership. You definitely need to sign up for that because that is a serious steal.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, Atiya, for joining me today. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thanks for having me.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in on today's Trademark Like a Boss show. I hope you found some value from today's show. And just to throw it out there, tomorrow is officially Radiance IP Law's 7-year anniversary. So I am excited that we have been in business this long. I appreciate your viewership and your support along the way. So I just wanted to give that major shout out to you all for tuning in and following along with me on this journey. So I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed day. Love you. Until next time, take care. Bye, guys.